Okay, so welcome to the daf. We're holding in Zevachim, daf Yudalit. We're starting in the two dots. It's about 8-9 lines down on daf Yudalit and Mudalf. So the Gemara. Shimon says that hiluch is allowed. So what we're talking about? We learned that there's 4 avodas in a carbon. When you do a carbon, there's 4 avodas. One is shchita of the carbon. Number 2 is kabbalah, you receive the blood. Number 3 is hiluch, walking with the blood. And number 4 is rika. Says Reb Shimon, the third one you can avoid, because if you shech next to the mizbeach, I don't have to walk to the mizbeach. So therefore, that one is not considered to be a avodah which you're paisel with the wrong machshava. So he says, by hiluch, I don't care, machshava won't affect it. Says the Gemara, Reb Shimon Melokish, Moidi Reb Shimon b'hoilochas chatoes aprimius shemachshava poselos behu, or you'll be avoid the sheaf shalavatlo. I should bring my Gemara. I have there a beautiful map of Beis Hamikdash. So this is really, let's see if they have it over here. But the point is, chatoes aprimius, or the chatoes the Gemara mentioned in the previous daf, is the chatoes that you do inside Beis Hamikdash, inside the heichel. Right? You have the azara, you have the outside, and you have the I don't have it over here, that in the picture of Beis Hamikdash, you have called the courtyard of Beis Hamikdash, it's called the Hazara. That's where you have Mizbeach HaChitzer. Then you have the inside, the Heichel. And the way the Heichel looks like is that it has a entryway called the Ulam, and then you have the Heichel. It's really the way, that's Rashi's Shita. The entryway is like the Tzur of Beis Hamikdash is a T shape. So you come in from the top of the T, that's called the Heichel, and then you go into that's called the Ulam, sorry, and then you go into the main part, that's called the Heichel. Chatois Abrimios, what they did is, they used to they did the Chatois inside Beis Hamikdash, and they sprinkled the blood of the Chatois Abrimios inside. That's what we had in yesterday's daf, that you do the Chatois Abrimios inside Beis Hamikdash. Now, where do you shecht the Chatois Abrimios? You shecht it in the Azara. The same place where you shecht all the korbanos, in the courtyard. But you have to go in to sprinkle the blood. So if you have to go in to sprinkle the blood, what are you doing? You need to walk. So if Shimon's svara is, I don't have to walk. I don't have to walk, right? But there's sometimes you do have to walk. It says the Gemara, whenever I do have to walk, so then, whenever you do have to walk, then the hiloch is mahakiv. And then if you have the right and wrong machshava, it ruins the carbon. So again, Reb Shimon's shita is that the avodah called hoilocha is avoidable. I don't have to do it. If I don't have to do it, so then the machshava shelo yishma will not be poisot. But if you hold, but anything that I do have to do hoilocha, says more than it's not avoidable. When I'm doing chatois aprimios, which means I'm shechting outside, but I have to walk inside, so then it's not avoidable. So then that one will be a psul. You have over there in the art school the picture of Beis Hamikdash?
No.
Nothing? In the beginning, in the end?
Yeah, and the
I'm sorry, because I have in my regular Gemara, I have a beautiful, big one, like a bit too, like the huge page.
Very simple one.
And I didn't bring my Gemara on. I should have brought it here. Okay. Anyway, so we'll. I wanted to just see if we have a picture over here.
We have it here.
Yeah, very small.
Not like yours.
I'm trying to see in the Gemara over here. They don't have it. Okay, let's say it. Maybe they have it in the brown Gemara in your back. If you look behind you, there's a brown Kudus Gemara. We'll try to see it. Is it Zevachim Menachos? Is it? No, it's not. Forget it. Okay, let's say this. So we'll go with the description. You have the Chatois Aprimios you do in the Hazara in the courtyard. Then you walk into the Ulam, which is the entryway of Beis Hamikdash, T-shape. That's what it looks like. And then you go into the main part, is the Heichel, and there they sprinkle the blood. You have to walk. You shecht it outside. You're walking. So it's avoid the which the machshava shelo yishma will be placed according to Reb Shimon. Says the Gemara, you can be vatal. Says the Gemara, 1 second. We just learned if you in Shabbos daf, the last few lines, the Gemara brought this sentence. V'amar Reb Shimon kol she'einu hamizbeach hachitzer keshlamim ein chayovim alo mishum pigul. We just learned that anything that you don't do in the outside Beis Hamikdash, Mizbeach, The ones that have to go inside the heichal to do it. There's no machshavas pigul. Now, again, machshavas pigul is not machshavas shel lishma. Two different thoughts that can ruin the korban. That was yesterday's daf. One thought that we're talking about from the beginning of this Masechta is a person who's shechti a korban he has in mind for another korban, not shaloi lishma. Then there's a machshava called pigul. What's pigul? When the shechti a korban, it's saying I'm going to throw the blood or eat the korban after the time. I'm supposed to eat it to throw the blood today. I think about tomorrow. I'm supposed to eat the food today or tonight. I'm doing it tomorrow. That ruins the korban. It's called machshavas pigul. The wrong time to eat it. So says the Gemara, but 1 second. According to Shimon, pigul is only in korbanos that you do outside of the indoors of Yisrael Mikdash. The ones you do in the courtyard, which is all the korbanos of Ayla and Shlabim that you do outside. Not the ones inside. You talk about Chataris and previous, there's no pigul. Now, what can you say? Who spoke about Chatar? Who spoke about pigul? Who spoke about Shaloi Lishma? Shaloi Lishma does affect. So how do you get the pigul? So that's the question of Rashi. If you look at Rashi. Rashi says, he says, Kol she'einoi, says Rashi, you want to Kol she'einoi. Kol korban she'ein matan damoy amizbeach achitzon. Any korban you don't put the blood on the outside of his beach, la'fuke, to exclude chatois supremius. The kasal kedaitech, the Gemara thought, to wadin lisol the shaloi lishmoi. Where it says, if pigul doesn't work, shaloi lishmoi doesn't work either. So according to Shimon, the wrong thought doesn't ruin the korban if it's done inside. So here you say, when you have Chatar Supremes, you have to walk inside, that will ruin the korban. According to Yeshiva, it doesn't ruin the korban. So the Gemara says no. Even though Yeshiva holds that you don't have a did pigul, he does agree that it's possible. Meaning, when you have the wrong thought, it ruins the korban. Pigul, the wrong time. Shaloi lishma, the wrong korban, ruins the korban. So what does he hold when he said that there's no pigul? It means you're not going to have kares. When a person shats a korban, has a bite to eat at the wrong time, or to throw the blood at the wrong time, he gets the chiyuv of kares. But if it's the chatois premios, the ones that goes indoors, you don't have kares. That's it. That's what the Gemara says. Says the Gemara, but psul will be pasul. Why? Become a chayver. Shaloi lishvot shuchshu b'shlobim. Pasul b'chatos. Shaloi lishvot, what you do by korban shlobim, is a kosher pasul. What did we learn in our first Mishnah? What is the first sentence of our Masechta? Any korban that was done shaloi lishvot, it's kosher, except for chatos and Pesach. So shaloi lishvot is only ruining chatos, not ruining other korbanos, not ruining shlomim. Umar shaloi lishvot shuchshu b'shlomim. Poisa b'chatos, chutzes manoi, thinking the wrong thought of the time. Shepoisa b'shlomim, that's pigul. It's going to be poisa shlomim. Ein yodin shivso b'chatos. So it can be the chatois premios, the psul, the wrong thought won't ruin it. Because if it ruins it by shlomim, of course it ruins it by chatos. Says the more, okay, very nice. Ashkechon chutz lezman. Okay, so you prove to me the chutz lezman will ruin it. But chutz mekoyim minolam, there's another wrong thought. The other wrong thought that you have is someone who thinks to eat it outside of its right place. He's thinking, I'm going to eat it, I'm supposed to eat it in Yisrael Mikdash, I eat it outside. I'm supposed to eat it in Yerushalayim, I eat it outside. Even if he didn't do it, he just thought about it, it's still poisel. So how do you know it's poisel b'chatos of previous? When you have the wrong time thought, it's like Easter karet, it's more chomer. That you have by shlomim, sheken noyeg b'bama. Shaloi lishma, you have even in a bama. What's a bama? A bama is before Beis Hamikdash was built. So they used to do a krava on a bama. A bama was called like a barbecue, almost like a barbecue. Yeah, they did their own mizbeach. Now there by bama, you have shaloi lishma, and you can take a korban and think the wrong thought. Do you have shaloi b'mkoymoi? No, because there's no makom by bama. Bama, there's no area where you can eat it. It's all over the place. Bama. Right? So it's not noyeg the bama. Says the Gemara, Shaloi Lishmon b'mayno. That's not true. You said Shaloi Lishmon is not b'mama. Why? Because I can bring korbanos to the bama and think the wrong thought. But we forgot something. Which korbanos Shaloi Lishmon is a problem? Pesach and Chatos. Says the Gemara, Shaloi Lishmon b'mayno. What is it noyek by? The Pesach and Chatos. Pesach and Chatos b'bama lekorvu.
Right.
You don't have a bama. Why not? Because the rule is bama. Right, bama was like the more even if it was a public one, there was a private one you could do in your backyard. In those days, every backyard had a mizbeach. But then you had also a public one. But the public one only had kol shenidar v'nidor. Only donations came on the bama, not chayvus. So chatos, there's no chatos on the bama, and there's no pesach on the bama. So there's no shaloi shmon on the bama. So that's what it is. So that's why you don't have a problem saying, "Oh, I can't learn for shaloi shmon because that's a bama." Shalosh is no boma either. Fi by semo, hekeshu. It's hekesh because it says shlishi is a chutzas manoi, pigul is a chutzas v'koymer. This is a good thing to know because we're going to speak about it a little later. It says in the pasuk, "Imochel b'yom shlishi pigul hu." That's what the pasuk says. What is imochel b'yom shlishi? Eat it in the third day, which is the wrong day to eat the korban. You have to eat it in the second day, the first day or second day. It says b'yom shlishi. It means pigul. It means you're thinking the wrong thought to eat it in the third day. Then it says pigul. So what is pigul? Pigul means out of its place. So this is an important thing to know. When the Gemara says the word pigul, always the word pigul means the wrong time. It's thinking the wrong time. That's pigul. When the Torah says pigul, it means the wrong place. Something to think about. Why the same word that's used by the Gemara for chutzas manoi in the Torah, it means chutzas mekayim. But the truth, the word pigul doesn't mean anything specific. Pigul means it's a ruin. It's like a bad taste. It's mefagel. It's ruining it. So which ruining we're talking about? That's changes between the Torah and Lashon Chazal. Anyway, says the Gemara. In Timtza Loimar, Reb Shimon Sola Kibbutz. Now the Gemara is going to now go say the following. Let's go back to what Reb Shimon said. Reb Shimon says that if you can avoid an avoida, it actually goes together. Avoid and avoida. Okay, you avoid an avoida, so that avoida you have no problem. So says Reb Shimon, the avoida of hoilacha walking, you don't have to do it. Why not? Because you can check right next to the mizbech. So that's why you can avoid it, and therefore the machshav won't place. So we're already started by saying chatar supreme, you can't avoid it, you have to walk. So that's number one. Now the Gemara is going to come and bring other scenarios to see which thing you can avoid, which thing you cannot avoid, and to try to bring me examples where according to Shimon things are unavoidable by Allah, and you have a problem with thinking about it. It says more like this: Amarov, in tin selaymash of Shimon savaloy kibrei. If Shimon holds like his son had a shita. He says, it's the Kabbalah in the Perek Sheni. What did his son say? The Omar beina ulam v'lamizbeach tzofrin, which means we have to shech the korban where in the tzofrin. What is the tzofrin? The tzofrin is the. I'm going to try to get a picture of this in English over here. I'll make let's see if we can do it.
Cool. Live footage? Is it live footage?
Live footage. Images, yeah. Yeah. Let's see if we can do from the top.
Seems like you're walking north from the woods.
Yeah. I want to get the...
That's the T part.
Yeah.
Not that again. I'm going to do one here. Yeah, if I found it quickly, this is here we go. Okay, so here we go. This is not the best picture. There's better pictures than this, but we'll use this, right? This is the base of English. So what we're focusing over here is this. This is the Azora, right? The outside. This part, it looks like the T shape. Here's the base of English. It's called the Heichel, the top part. The closer part to me is Kodesh Kodashim. Outer part is Heichel. This big part is called the Ulam. That's the indoors. Outside is the outdoors. Here's the Mizbeach. Now, to the right is the south. To the left is the north. Towards me is the Ma'ariv. If I have you the Mizbeach, the main sheet of the Gemara is where you shech the Karbanis in the Tzafon, which means right here. Right in front of the Mizbeach, Tzafon. There's some space between the Mizbeach and the Ulam. So the entrance of the Ulam is here. These are stairs. So you have some space between the Mizbeach and the entrance to the Ulam. The entryway to Beis Hamikdash. So the Tanakama holds you could shech the Karban only here, in the north side of the Mizbeach. Comes the son of Reb Shimon, it says you can also shech between the Mizbeach and the Ulam too. You don't have to be only in front of the Mizbeach. It can be between the Mizbeach and the Ulam as well. You can shech the Karban. Okay?
Why does it really matter where you shech?
Halacha. He's saying Lagabe halacha.
What's that? For our halacha, we'll see in a moment. In terms of Machshava, Yadi, what's exactly the north of Mizbeach? What's exactly the north of... Okay, so Yadi, we have to see it. Right now we're discussing, can you shecht the Mizbeach, the Korban? Where can you shecht it? Says the Gemara, if Reb Shimon holds like his son, meaning that between the Ulam and Mizbeach you can shecht the Korban too. So we just established that Chatoy Supreme is you have to walk. You must walk. So that's why Machshava will ruin it over there. But how much do you have to walk? So the Gemara understood, you know how much you have to walk? You have to walk from here, the north of Mizbeach, until here. But according to the son of Reb Shimon, you don't have to walk here because you could check right next to the door of the Ulam. So that area between the Mizbeach and the Ulam, that area, that few feet, that's not going to, Machshava won't be Paisel. Paisel will be only once you go into the Ulam. Okay, that's number one. Look with the first wide line. He did so. Look at if you hold that the inside of the Azoro is Mekadesh. Now we're speaking about something else. Not about the Chatas Premius. Chatas Premius, you have to walk from the outside to the inside to sprinkle the blood. Now we have something you have to walk from the inside to the outside. What is that? The Lechem Aponim. Lechem Aponim, the bread that brought every Shabbos to Beis Hamikdash. So you have to take the bread. So you have bread and you have the spices on the bread called the Lavoina. Lavoina is a certain spice. That spice that they had, you used to take it from the shulchan, where the breads are, and walk with it to the Mizbeach, outside, and put it on the Mizbeach. That's part of the Avodah of the Lechem Aponim. Where exactly do I have to put the Lavoina? Part of Shabbos is on the Mizbeach. But there's a sheet that says you don't have to put it on the Mizbeach. You can do it on any place in the Hazara. Any area in the Hazara, in the courtyard, you can make a fire on the floor, and you could burn the Lavoina. Says the Gemara, if you hold like a beautiful, any area in the Hazara, you can burn the Lavoina. Ain't Machshava won't ruin. When you take the Bazichin is where you put the Lavoina on. It's only from the edges of the Heichel until you get to the outside. Why? Because once you get to the outside, to the Hazara, you can burn it any place you want. So it's only that area from the edges of the Heichel to the Hazara. Once you hit the Hazara, you can burn it wherever you want. Now, what's the Heichel? Let's go back to our map. Sorry. The Heichel is in the T shape. This is the Heichel. The top of the T is the Ulam. So the Gemara says, you know we have a problem of Halacha when you take the Bazichim out from the entrance of the Heichel to the entrance of the Ulam, the space. Because you need to go out from the Heichel outside. The Lechem Aponim we'll see in a moment can be anywhere in the Beis Hamikdash. But I must walk from the entrance of the Heichel to the entrance of the Ulam. Once I hit the entrance of the Ulam, I could burn the Lavoina right away. I don't have to walk anymore. According to Reb Shimon, any walk you don't have to do does not ruin if I have the wrong thought. Says the Gemara, yeah, but that's very good if you hold that the shulchan needs to be in the Heichel. If he holds the Heichel and the Ulam has all the same dusha, which means not only that the long space of the Beis Hamikdash is Kaddish, but also the top of Beis Hamikdash, the T shape. You could put the shulchan there as well in the entryway. If it's not nice, it's not really beautiful, it doesn't have to know the pictures. But you could do it. You could put the shulchan over here. So I don't have to put the shulchan in the eichel. So then I could put the shulchan where? In the ulam. So how much do I have to walk with the bread? Not much. Then it's only the area of the door itself, right? Because I could put, in theory, I could put the shulchan right next to the door of the ulam. The minute I get out of the ulam, I could burn the levain right away. So how much do I have to walk? Only the door, only the doorpost. The only halacha is the doorpost. And if you hold that the doorpost is also part of the kedusha, which means in theory I can put the lecha parim in the doorpost, then I can actually, in theory, put the shulchan where in the door, and then all I need to do in order to throw the levaino, to burn the levaino, what I have to do is stretch my hand out. Take the levaino, stretch my hand out. So if you hold that's halacha, that's what machshol lipoisa. But if you hold when you don't have to walk, you don't have to move your legs, that's not called halacha. Ein machshol me'elas klal. There's no machshol ve'el. Meaning, again, what was the rule? The rule is any walk that I don't have to do, it's avoidable. There's no machshol me'elas there. So we're trying to figure out how can I minimize the halacha of the levain of lechem aponim. So we're starting by saying, well, if it's in the heichal, I have to walk only the space of the ulam and the door. If you hold, you can put the lechem aponim in the ulam. Well, all I have to walk is the door. If you hold, you can put the lechem aponim in the door. All I have to walk is not walk at all, just to stretch my hand. If stretching there is not considered to be halacha, there's no halacha in this case. So halacha will get rude. According to Shimon, anything I can avoid doesn't rule the carpet. Okay, that was the just to find a scenario where you have it. Abaye told Amoyer of Yeshiva. Amoyer always means the one who used to quote all the memers of the Amoyer. So I told him, can a non-kohen do hoylach? Let's take what we know, and then we're going to address it in a moment. We have 4 avoiders. Shchita, can a zar do? Answer is yes. Shchita, anybody can do. We'll get to that in a moment. We're going to address it. Kabbalah, can be done by zar? No. Clearly not. Zriko, can be done by zar? No. We're going to ask about halach. Yes. Why? Because halach can be avoided. Says the Gemara. Can a zar do halach? It's kosher. Umikra misayin. I'm bringing a pasuk from Divrei Hayomim. It's a sefer in Tarach. It says V'yishchitu is the Pesach, the Shech the Pesach. V'yizruku ha'kohanim esadam miyodom. The kohanim threw the blood from their hands. Not from the hands of who? The ones who did shchita. Who does shchita? Anyone can do shchita. V'alevim ha'shitim, the Levim took out the skin. So Mashra, the kohanim took the blood from the ones who did the shchita. Who's that? That's the Yisrael. Mesa Sheshes, she has a question. Zar, clear brisa. Zar is someone who's not a kohen. Oinen, what's an oinen? What is an oinen? An oinen is someone who has someone in his family or lane that died. That day is an oinen. Very good. With that, you dialed on with base. Shikor, what's a shikor? You all know what a shikor is, right?
A drum.
A drum. Shaker. Ba'almum is someone who has a mum, has a blemish. Talk about all kohanim. Kabbalah, receiving the blood. Behoilacha, walking with the blood. Bizrika, pasul. All this is pasul. All 3 cases the pasul. Zar says clearly, zar is pasul. V'chen yoshiv, as well as sitting down, he has to be standing up. The kohen has to be standing up. V'chen small, you can't use the left hand, you have to use the right hand. So what do you see over here? Clearly, as zar is pasul. The 3 avoiders. It's going to Yufta. Okay, shlog that up, it's clear. This is halacha l'maisa. The only thing Azar can do is shchita. He can't do halacha, Kabbalah halacha zrika.
Why? You
think halacha is
not as like...
Still, only a kohen. Says the Gemara, Rav Chizda Kro Kol Amar. Rav Chizda brought a pasuk from Divrei Hayamim. Says the Gemara, the Ovin Maise Itztabo. Oh, you know what a Yisrael can do? Maise Itztabo. Itztabo means a base, which means he can be a holder. The Kohen can take the blood after we see the blood, give it to Yisrael, tell Yisrael, hold it on for a second. He holds it, and then the Kohen takes it. He can't walk with it. Okay. He can just hold it. Maise Itztabo means a base. He can be the one, the holder. He can hold the thing, can't walk with it. But
yeah,
exactly. The kids are without walking.
Still fine.
Yeah. To beat up. No moving.
Yeah.
Rabbi Babis Damit Tavayu Hoylocho Bizar Machlekes of Shimon Rabbanan, and they say it depends on Machlekes in our Mishnah. Reb Shimon Doma Avoid Shiv Shalavato Lev Avoidi. According to Reb Shimon, any avoid I can avoid is not an avoido. So he holds Ksher Bizar. He holds his I can do it. The Rabbanan Psula. One will be puzzled. Hey, he says this depends on the same Machlekes in our Mishnah. Is it something that you could avoid? Is that considered to be not an avoido or not? Here comes in, and just to point it out, a little lomdish inyanin that we have. It's a diuk here in Rashi Tosfos. We went back to our Mishnah. The Mishnah said that halacha you can avoid, according to Reb Shimon, and that's why machshava doesn't ruin it. According to Rabbanan, they hold halacha, machshava does ruin it. Is it because they hold that you cannot avoid halacha? They disagree with Reb Shimon. Why? Because maybe they hold that just moving your hand is already halacha, so you have to do halacha. Or they hold that even though you can avoid it, it's still machshava p'sells. So here's the Yukim in Rashi Tosfos. Losha the Gemara says, avoid shalavat lo avoidi. And Rabbanon, the Gemara does not say to avoid the shiv shavat. The Gemara is saying avoid the shiv shavat like to everybody. So simple pshat of the Gemara sounds more that it's avoid that you couldn't vatal. According to Rabbanon, it still is a problem. Abaye v'ashchito the avoid the shiv shavat. You're saying that the rule is can you avoid it or not? What about shchita? Shchita is avoid the shiv shavat. Picture bizarre. It's kosher bizarre. Omer shchita lav avoidi. Not avoido. Shchita is not avoid. Why shchita is not avoido? So Rashi says, basically, you know what's not avoido? Because any pasuk can do it. So he says, yeah, but that's exactly what I'm trying to discuss. I'm trying to tell you that the pasuk psulim should not be able to do shchita. Azar should not be able to do shchita. And you're saying, no, shchita is not avoido because psulim can do it. But how do you know that? So Tosfos brings a few the other reasons why shchita is something that is not an avoido. And he brings one example you could do it when you're in Dorim, you don't have to be in Safed. But then he says the second thing, he brings the Rimi or Laish. So you know why shchita is not avoido? Because you have to do shchita always. Even when I want to shecht a regular steak for supper tonight, how do I get to it? I have to do shchita. Shchita is not only in Kodesh, also chulim you do shchita. Every animal you want to eat, you do shchita. Right? So says the Gemara, the shchita is not avoido. Says the Gemara, say more veloy. Shchita is not avoido. Homav zero marav. Shchitas paro bizar psulo. But we said the para adumo, regular carbon you could do shchita bizar. Para adumo you can't. Why can't? If you say shchita is not avoido, especially with the Tosfos, shchita is universal. You always do shchita. So zrika only a kohen. But shchita is only bizar. Bizar is possible, right? It's kosher. Why shchita para adumo is different? Homer Avalo. Rabbi said, I'll tell you why. The pasuk says, Elazar v'chukotsibo. It says by shchita, it says there, Elazar, the shachab, the pasuk says that Elazar ben Aaron a kohen will shecht it. It says clearly it has to be a kohen. And it says chukah. Chukah means you can't change it. K'tibo. Oh, shari parva to kotche b'dik abayis. One second. Parva dumo is a discussion with Seches Harius. Seches the Zor. We had a discussion about Seches the Zor. But the shayla is a para adumo, it has a kedusha of a carbon, or you're not, because para adumo you don't put it in the mizbech. Well, where do you bring the para adumo? Outside of Beis HaMikdash. So it could be it's not a carbon. It's kedusha's beit HaKavod. It belongs to Hekdesh, but it doesn't have a kedusha of a carbon. It doesn't have a kedusha as a goof. So I don't understand. Have kol dekeni is not a kol sheken. Kosher beit HaKavod is avi avoide. Kosher is bech la avoide. What do you mean? You see, Kodesh, if you by Bedek Abayis, something which is not so Kodesh, you're required to have a kohen. So Kol Shekin by regular Kedushas, it's a carbon. Of course, you have to have a carbon. So they want to know. Midiavi amaras negoim. Oh, what happens when you have negoim? Tsaras. Who can pass if tsaras is go to bed? Kohen. Is that an avodah? Is that a korban? No. The Torah said it needs to be a kohen.
Says many things. Outside, inside, outside.
Very good. In other words, not necessarily anything which is a korban requires a kohen.
Right.
There are things that the Torah said that belongs to a kohen, like tzaras, like paraduma. But any chinami. If it's bedek abayis, it's nothing to do with a korban. You can't bring a raya from here that shechita by a korban has a din of an avodah. So 1 second. You want to tell me that it depends, can you avoid it or not? According to Bashir, anything you can avoid is not an avoid. What about taking the limbs to the kevish? Now, how does it work? You shut the korban. You throw the blood. Now there's still an avoid. What do you have to do? You take the limbs, if it's a oila, or the fat, and you have to take it to the mizbech. Now there's 2 stages of taking it to the mizbech. Stage number 1 is, you have to walk to the mizbech. And the mizbech has a kevish, which is a ramp. Then you have to walk on the ramp, and then you have to burn it on the ramp. So stage 1 is to walk to the kevish. Can a zar do it?
No.
Says he can't. Can you avoid it?
No.
Yes, because you could shut the korban right next to the ramp. To walk to the ramp is not, you don't need to do it.
You still have to go up the ramp.
Up the ramp. But there's 2 stages. It's going to the ramp and going up the ramp. So then when going to the ramp, you can avoid it. That's what I was asking. Is taking limbs to the ramp, you can avoid it because you can check right next to the ramp. It says the Christ has to bring it to this back. Taking the avoid to the ramp. Says the Gemara, well, you're right. But there's a kosov. The Torah said, even though you could avoid it, it requires a kohen. The Torah says it. But Halacha doesn't say any pasuk they have to do it. So there I would say that if you can avoid it and you hold it down avoid, it's possible. It's not possible. Says the Gemara again. Forget about the pasuk. What about a kol sheken? Lav kol dekenu, what a kol sheken? Walking the limbs to the ramp. You don't need to do it. Meaning, this we learned in yesterday's daf. Which avoidus you must do for the korban to be kosher?
4 avoidus.
4 avoidus. Shechita, Kabbalah, see the blood, Hoilacha, Zriko. Then there's other things that need to be done afterwards. One is putting the limbs, if it's oilo, or the fats of the other korbanos on the mizbech. That's called Haktarasimurim. And then you have Shvicha Shirayim, which means the leftover blood you have to spill in his back. What happens if you didn't do the last 2? It's not ma'akev. You should do it. It's a mitzvah. But if you didn't do it, the korban is still kosher. She says the Gemara, he didn't do it. It's not ma'akev. It's not one of the 4 avoidus. And still requires kiuna. So again, let's see the kol sheken. The kapor doesn't depend on it. By kiuna, so you're taking the blood, which if you didn't do it, you could avoid it. But if you didn't avoid it and you didn't do it, it's back of the kapara. So of course it needs a kohen. So the Gemara says that's what the Gemara wants to maybe slug up, that according to Shimon, you should need kohen even though he holds it's something you could avoid. So we eat nami for another memra Omar Ulo, Omar Belazar, Haylocha Bezar Sulo. Afilu Leb Shimon. Clearly, Haylocha is possible even according to Shimon, even though Shimon holds that something you could avoid is not an avoido. It doesn't place of the korban, it still requires a zar. Kol sheken for Haylochas Evarim Lekeves for taking the limbs to the ramp. Okay. So that was that. So we concluded, the Gemara seems to conclude that you must have a kohen. Now we start a new sugya that goes into the next one. You need to have a zar. You need to have a kohen doing it. Now the Gemara goes on to another sugya. This sugya is going to go into the next Talmud, but we'll start it till the end of this Talmud. Ibailu, hoylacha shaloi beregel. Meaning, if you walked without walking, what does it mean? Walk without walking? You just took the blood with your hand, without actually moving your feet. Shmoi locha lo shmoi locha. Is that a locha or not? By the way, you mentioned bris milah. There's something called cheka bris milah. Cheka means the son holds the baby. So you see, many people mock it. walk a step. Don't just hold. Because it could be a halacha shloi beregel. If you're not walking, you didn't do anything. So one is asking here, is halacha shloi beregel shvar halacha l'shvar if you didn't walk? Is that a halacha by moving, just progressing, moving the blood ahead? So what Toshma? Let's learn. The Brayta said. Huh?
That's what you said.
Yeah. Toshma v'chen yoshev, sitting down. V'chen smoil, pasul. We just done the Brayta before. If you're sitting down doing the avodah, or you're doing it with your left hand, it's pasul. Mashma ha'oimen do mid yoshev. If he's standing, as long as he's standing, kosher. Even though he didn't move, Yeshiva didn't move. The one understands. So oimen did not move. The only problem is if he's sitting, but if he's standing, he's good. So Dilma Yoshev the Kashayev Mishov and doing the Yoshev denied Porto. Says no. Maybe he's sitting doesn't mean he's still. He's like, he's sitting on the floor and he's moving a little bit. And also standing means he has to move a little bit. Doesn't mean he's standing still. Maybe he has to move a little bit. So Toshma Shochat Yisrael v'kibel hakoyin. Yisrael shecht. The koyin received. That's this is a quote from the Gemara Psachim. Psachim, Yisrael shecht, receive the blood, and then they have like a whole row of kohanim, and they pass to each other the blood. So the v'nostu l'chaveru v'chaveru l'chaveru. Mashra, what is he doing? Just passing it on. They're not moving. So the Gemara knows some nami denied the porter. No, maybe each one has to walk a little bit. He has to walk a step. My kasha. So what's the good? Of course you can do it. So the chiddush is beroi v'am just melech. I want to have as many kohanim involved. This comes on halacha l'maisa. They brought down in the Orus of Ruah that when they take out the sefer Torah from the Aron, so there is an Indian that you pass it on. You have the one. You don't. Not the chazan will open the Aron Kodesh. Someone else. That's our minhag is right. Someone opens the Aron, gives it to the chazan, and then the chazan goes back. Someone puts it in the Aron. Why? More people are involved. The more people are involved, the more you mechabed the mitzvah. So the same thing over here. I want to move the blood and move it through this way. So they want Toshma. Kibel kosher v'nosan apostle yachzil kosher. What happens? You have a kosher. The kosher is dead, which means a kohen kosher. Now there's a kohen who's apostle. He has a blemish. So the kohen kosher takes the blood which is in the kli. He gives it to the kohen apostle. Now that giving, that's what we're discussing. Is that considered to be halacha or not? Is that considered to be doing something? So in this case, the Gemara understands, and this is clear, he's not moving. So Kohen A, who's the Kohen Kosher, gives to Kohen B by passing it to him. It's not good, the Kohen Apostle can't do anything. So what do? Yachzil the Kosher. The Apostle should give it back to the Kosher. Meaning, the Apostle, he should have been here, it was a mistake. And you want to give it back. So you know what he should do? Give it back. So what you see over here, why should he give it back? The Kohen Kosher did okay, he gave her locha. The Kohen Apostle didn't move, he just received it. He's like a Yitztaba. So the Kohen Kosher just come and take it from the Apostle. Why does he have to go back? You understand, he has to go back because he didn't move, and you have to move your legs. Says the Gemara, it's don't say that he should take it back. Just say that the Kosher should come and take it. He should be kabbalit. In other words, what the first one did by passing it is good enough. So the Gemara says it's not a raya, and now the Gemara is going to go from here on, and maybe just one last sentence. We'll go back to when we start the next daf. Yechezkel holds that if you're walking without actually walking, it's not considered to be a hilacha because you need to actually make a move with the legs. That's one of the avodas. 4 avodas of carbon. One of the avodas is hilacha. Can you just pass it on? Someone no, you actually have to move your feet according to Rabbi Yechezkel. Why? Because it's considered to be a hilacha means you have to move your feet. It's not enough just to pass it on, and that's what you always have to do when you do these things. We say we'll stop over here, and we'll continue from here tomorrow morning. You like all these arba avodas?